I noticed that my life was broken. It was not me who was controlling this body. Oh, I want to know what's really real to me before it vanishes like a wave. Get on the rock, get up the burst, tell me the fight on me, the ways to make it. You must have heard it. Grasp the truth, hold it high, right your feet, that's what this made to start with. You haven't heard it, girl. Don't be afraid to listen to your own heart. Big fat sonic, that's my heart beating you. One day I noticed that the world was broken. Spoiled as hell, we had our senses down. Oh, I would see this whole world falling blue. Not this space marched in black. Hey, get up the rock, get up the bar. Stand with the pride on me, the ways to make it. You must have heard it. Grasp the truth, hold it high, raise your voice, that's how you start a new thing. You must have heard it now. Don't be afraid to listen to your own heart. Big black sonic, that's my heart beating you. That world is filled with easy answers to swallow. Life is to gobble down a perfect killer. That truth is that you are the one being eaten. Don't need my answer to be written the book. Oh, I want to keep my thirst for what is worth. No use in passion, not oh. Get on the rock, get up the bar, stand with the pride on me, the ways to make it. You must have heard it. Grasp the truth, hold it high, rise the peace, that's how you're supposed to use it. You must have heard it. Go. Don't be afraid to look yourself in the eye. Big blast on you, that's my heart beating you.
It's your boy, Juste Meta here, with the homie Ponteronten, if you can hear me.
Hey, what's up? I hear.
Awesome. Well, good morning, everybody, or whoever's here.
How you guys doing?
Good morning, YouTube, because the last one did pretty good on YouTube, actually. Very high click-through rate, high retention, everything. So, glad you guys like the podcast, or should I say the POGCAST.
It's still a good name.
Yeah, I really like the name. So yeah, Pont and I have technically three, but we're going to talk about two games today. We're going to talk about COREUPT, which is the indie fighter that I've been seeing on Twitter for like the last year, and I'm like, oh my god, that game looks really cool. And we're going to talk about Strive, obviously, because what else is there to talk about?
That's true. Very good, true.
As of right now, So first things first, we got some Event Hub news about COREUPT, and they put out a gameplay. They put out like some gameplay, and they said that they're going to. I think they're gonna put out like a actual reveal for E3.
Yeah.
So let me go to the event hubs real quick. 1 second.
You can tell.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, so this was some kind of news that came out of nowhere. It was surprised at the Twitter, at JW Correlated Twitter, where they showed off some gameplay of the game called COREUPT, which is this very flashy, interesting-looking fighting game where they decided to show off some of the gameplay, but they will also be talking more about it on the E3 2021 and the Summer Game Fest on their Twitch. So we'll hopefully see that coming up in this current week, which is actually this weekend and the spilling over to the other weekdays coming. So we will see a lot of new games being announced.
Well, there is a gameplay trailer that I'm playing right now with the sound off, so we could talk over it. But yeah, I'm sorry, I've been looking at this game for the past like year and some change on Twitter. I've been following JW Correlated as well, so I've been seeing whatever he's been posting, and this game just looks like so good. You know, this game just looks like really good. You know,
it does, and it has this really fancy looking graphics on its own way.
It's got wall bounce combos. So it seems like it has like a cooldown thing on your specials. That seems to be so it's probably going to be an easy fighter, but I'm pretty sure, you know, in the vein of most so-called easy execution fighters, there's going to be a lot of depth in like how you use your specials, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be like a lot of high level depth in there, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very promising game, so to say, just from looking at this trailer. But again, we kind of need to look more at it right now. I do like the idea of using cooldowns for your specials, because then it becomes more inviting to new players to pick up and understand the game. And then from there on out, it's like, hey, you should do the directional input as well, because that will actually invite them to become even better at the game, because there's some kind of hook that makes it better for them. It's just like, if you do the input, the directional input, your attack either has no cooldown or it might do more damage. Similar to how they did it with Ryu and what was it again? Cherry in Smash Brothers.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of the same, like what is it, Fantasy Strike as well, or what is that other game, Grand Blue, where it has cooldowns. You know, I really like the one thing about Grand Blue I didn't like is that the game was just so slow paced, and also the netcode. But I probably would have dealt with the slow pace of the game if it had decent netcode. But I really like the cooldown idea, and I like the way Grand Blue incorporated the cooldown idea, where there was 2 inputs for everything. So like you could do easy input, and you would pay for doing an easy input by having a longer cooldown, or you could do the hard input, or basically the basic fighting game input, and you would have a much shorter. You have an instantaneous cooldown. You know, if you did the real input. And that's something I really like, because in certain situations you would want to use the quick input to guarantee like reversal timing or whatever, and then other times you would just want to use the real input to make sure you have your special for the next, you know, the next time, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, so for those asking in the chat, this game is called COREUPT. So COREUPT. It's an indie game. They're working on it on you can follow the guy. His name's JW, I think _ correlated on Twitter. He's the lead developer. They're going to be revealing this game at E3 and Summer Game Fest. So, you know, I really hope, like, and this is another thing I want to talk about as well. Good fighting games with good rollback and like innovative features don't have a lot of players.
That's true.
Like, Arts is kind of like, you know, got lightning in a bottle with Strive, you know, to get like good netcode and good graphics and interesting, you know, different mechanics to appeal to like so many people. But like, you know, from Fantasy Strike to Power Rangers to what was another one?
That's Fighting Hearts.
Yeah, Fighting Hearts.
It's just like you have this
Skullgirls, you know, like these really cool fighting games don't reach a large enough audience, and I would really like to see, like, I would love to play Power Rangers like competitively, honestly.
Oh yeah.
I would love to do tournaments for it. Same thing with Fantasy Strike. I did do tournaments for Fantasy Strikes for a few weeks, and the audience was just small. It was hard finding players for it as well. Like we had some players for Fantasy Strike, but it wasn't like nowhere near on the level of like any other like mainstream fighting game.
Yeah.
So with all that, I'm sorry, but
yeah, when we reflect back to it, I think it was just like like lightning in a bottle was actually being thanks to also Dragon Ball Fighters as well. That was when Arxis put themselves on the map and many people's radars.
Yeah.
You had like this big Dragon Ball fans that is just like very interested in the whole franchise, and when they see a new fighting game based on that, then they get excited. And after Marvel Infinite kind of lackluster, then people were looking for, I need a new tag team battle.
Well,
game.
let's talk about Marvel Infinite, because aside from the terrible graphics, the game is actually good. Like, I played it.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually like really good. And it's got rollback. So
that's true. Absolutely.
I mean, like, it's one of those things where it's like people want rollback, but they only want rollback in their specific franchises, right?
So it's one of those things that it's a good game, but a lot of people were expecting better or something more beyond Ultimate Marvel.
I think people wanted Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 4. I think
I suspect that as well.
Yeah, they changed it quite a bit. They went from 3. It threw me off too. It went from 3 to 2 fighters, and instead of X Factor, it had the stones, the Power Stone, Time Stone. But when you really delve into those concepts, and then I watched a lot of gameplay footage of it, when you actually like accept that game for what it is and you use the mechanics in it, it actually becomes like really fun. So anyway, so that's Corrupt. I've been watching it. It looks good. I suggest everybody keeps their eye on this game. This game looks lit. And yeah, that's it. That's it for me for Corrupt. Unless you got anything else you want to add about Corrupt,
No, I think if I were to go beyond that, then we're just gonna go hop into another complete subject completely. So
yeah, exactly.
Might as well hop over to the next intended subject on our schedule.
All right. Well, the current next schedule we're gonna talk about is obviously everything from this point on is going to be about Guilty Gear. So get ready for some Guilty Gear simping, and also me cursing out Daisuke, cursing the gods. I have to curse. I have to shout at the sky for a little bit.
Because before we do that, we might actually want to talk about that interesting video that hit the YouTube. If you want to know that,
the DLC leaks. Yeah, I have it up right here.
Yeah. So there was some news that some people did some data mining going around, and
so hold on. Before we even get into that, this is why PC didn't get a fucking beta, guys. This is why. This is why I had to buy the game twice, just so that I could play the betas. Because I knew PC wasn't going to get a beta, because the game wasn't even out a few hours, and they already data mined the holy crap out of it. Like, they found so much stuff, It
was crazy. Right. And from that onward, they presented their post-launch content schedule, which was just like approximately these characters will be released at these times. And the first character that we saw in the release trailer was this interesting character with this familiar hair and glasses that reminded me of Batman, called Happy Chaos. Yep. And then we saw like this post-release schedule that they had for Strive, and then it said like, oh, it will be a new character that we have never seen before, and then it was just like, that might be Happy Chaos.
Yeah. Well, here's the crazy thing, right? Like they said that we're getting a DLC in July. So literally 1 month after the game comes out, we're getting a DLC. And also, very, very close to the Strive Major, which we're running as well on this channel. Me and Pont will be commentating. NYC Furby said he'll come and co-host as well on some weeks. And Shin Kidzu as well. So make sure you guys sign up for the Strive Major if you haven't already. But yeah, so around that time, we're getting a DLC. And I was like, man, that's kind of quick. But then we're getting one in August as well. So we're getting 2 DLCs before Evo. So I was kind of like, hey, that's kind of nice. They're not making us wait like 6 months. I was prepared to wait like 6 months for a DLC, actually.
Oh yeah.
I was prepared to wait 6 months. I was like, they're gonna want us to play the game for like 6 months, and then we get a DLC. But no, they're dropping DLC right out the gate.
Oh yeah.
So and they're adding more modes in the next couple of months as well. So I mean, I don't know. ArcSys is just doing everything right, except for one thing, which we will talk about later. But
We will talk about that.
we'll talk about that one thing. But so far, everything they're doing is just so good. You know, they're and one thing I also liked is that they continue to communicate right when the game came out. Like with most when the game comes out with most devs, they just take their money and just dip. You know,
Yeah.
like they just dip and we don't hear nothing for like 6 months. You know,
And then they come back and realize, hey, we re-released the game on the new gaming platforms because you guys want to play it on the new consoles, right? And then there's like little to no changes to the game. It's just like, what kind of new content is there? Content?
exactly. So supposed DLC leak. Turns out in the game there's a Jam character, like playable character model. Happy Chaos, Jacko, Go Lewis, and who was the last one? Happy Chaos, Go Lewis, Jam, Jacko, and there was one more. Oh, that man.
Oh yeah, that man. Daisuke COREUPT.
Yeah.
Very interesting character. Shame that they changed his looks again for Strive because
Well, he's
apparently
kind of
some
always
people.
been hooded, right? But
But they showed his face at the end of Revelator where he had these cat ears actually, thanks to his hair. And I felt like that's a cool design, and we have it. And then they changed it. I was just like, oh.
Yeah, no biking announced yet. Biking and Johnny, the characters that everybody wants, they're like, nope, you got to buy another season pass, and we might, they might pull an Ed Boon and give you the character you want in the very last DLC.
Oh yeah.
Just to keep you buying season passes until the very last season pass. That would be the smart business move, to be honest. To drop. They
can pull a Revelator as well. It's just like, hey, we're re-releasing Strive 2nd or something like that, and then there's like, we also put in Johnny, Biking. We also put in Bridget because you missed him, and Robokai.
Yeah, we'll put in all your favorites. Final DLC, we'll put in all your favorite characters. Venom. Yeah, they know. I can tell you right now, they know people will pay for these 4 characters, 100%. OG Guilty Gear heads will pay for 4 characters. They'll pay for Biken, they'll pay for Johnny, they'll pay for Venom, and they'll pay for damn, I had the 4th one in my head. I just totally forgot. Biken, Johnny, Venom, and what's the other one?
Testament, Bridget.
No, not Testament,
Cliff.
not Bridget, not Cliff. It's a Rev 2 character. Hold on, I'm trying to think.
Answer?
No.
Welcome Hayon.
Maybe. But yeah, I forgot who the last one was. But yeah, they'll pay for 4 characters. There's 4 like Guilty Gear stable characters that are not in Strive that all Guilty Gear heads will pay for. Slayer.
Oh,
yeah, Slayer's one too, but it's not who I was thinking about. But yeah, I completely just had a brain fart. So Johnny, Jam, Biken. Well, Jam is supposedly DLC, but yeah, Johnny, Biken. See, now I forgot the 3rd one too. Venom. Yeah, Venom, and there's one more. But anyway, it'll come to me probably later in the podcast.
It will strike us when we get to see the next season pass jumping out of nowhere.
Dizzy.
Say, hey,
thank you,
Dizzy.
Elwins. Dizzy. That's who it was. Dizzy. Yes. See, this is how little I think of Dizzy. Like, but Dizzy's good. So yeah, Dizzy's a good character. Yes, Dizzy. That's the one that I'm thinking about. Yes. People will 100% like, oh my god, if they announce Dizzy for DLC, get ready.
I mean, this reminds me of when they actually announced Dizzy as a DLC character for Exert, and they actually had an audience reaction, and everyone was out of their heads. It was just like shouting and being happy and applauding like crazy.
YouTube reaction videos of YouTubers crying, "Oh God, Dizzy!"
I mean, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen eventually with Nintendo's next Direct that is happening next current week.
Yeah.
So that we'll see what will happen. Here's the hope for Soul Bad Guy to make it a playable character in Smash Brothers, guys.
Yeah, I mean, like, you gotta understand that Dizzy is incredibly popular in like
she is.
Almost every region. Like, it's crazy. Dizzy's super popular. Venom, like when Venom gets announced, I'm sure it'll be there'll be some hype, yes, because OG Guilty Gear players will want to be like, oh, my character's back, great,
Yeah.
Biken, everyone will be hyped, and then no one will play her. Because Biken is actually hard to play. Biken,
and that's the
Biken is not an easy character, guys. It's kind of like when everyone was hyped for Rose in Street Fighter V. And I kept telling people, I was like, do you guys not understand that Rose is a hard character? Like, she is not a waifu, dog. Like, this is not some waifu shit where you just get a free character and she can, she's gonna carry you. Like, Rose doesn't carry. Like, she is a hard neutral character, and she has all the tools you need to, for her to be like S tier or for you to make it work. But she's a hard execution based character, because I used to play the old Street Fighters, and I knew that she was tough,
Yeah.
And when she came out, what happened? Everybody played her for a day, realized that she was hard to play, and then immediately dropped her. And I think that's what's going to happen with Biken as well. Pond. I think that's what's going to happen with Biken.
I think the same thing as well. It's just like when I hear someone goes like, sorry, no Biken, no Biken. It's just
God.
You're not even playing Biken. It's like, yeah, sure I do. I played it back in then. It's like, okay, then how come you don't own Plus R on Steam?
Exactly.
You should always have known then. It's just like, nah, I don't have enough money. It's like, then why do you complain?
I mean, people might play Biken, but there's not a lot of good Bikens out there. Yeah. Like, they just think like, oh, look, I got this meterless reversal stance. Let me just spam it every 5 fucking seconds. And then it's kind of like, oh, you're doing that? Let me bait it. GG's counter hit combo. Counter,
That's true. No bad man, no buy, man.
Yeah, for real.
Good one.
We'll get to the question and answer segment later, Enemy of Trust.
Yeah. But I also think like there's also new contents that you can customize your playroom lobbies. Mm-hmm. The combo maker sounded interesting in my head, because when I pick up a new character and stuff like that,
then I would the combo maker as well, and that's
exactly.
That feature is so good.
And you can share these things, just like take this file and put it up on the Discord, and then people can download it, and then they can try and redo it as well. Yep. It's just like good stuff. And that's something that I really hope that they claimed also Combo Maker will do, is just like, here, create your own combos and then share it with everyone else on the server. And then people can download it and get a good understanding of how to play the game better. Because the combo in Xrd was a really good feature that I really think will help a lot of new players.
That
a lot of players can
pick it up. Actually. Like, that helped me understand the combo flow and structure, to see it written out easily on the screen and stuff.
And bread and butters of the character as well. It's just like, what is a good bread and butter for Paust here? What is a good bread and butter with Sato here? And then from there, he's like, okay, I got a good understanding. Now I can build upon it and then do better from there. Because that's also a good mounted tool that can help new players as well.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited. The update I'm most excited for? Customizing your player room. That's the one I'm looking forward to the most, honestly, because I'm gonna trick my mansion out, bro. It's gonna have I don't know what it's gonna have yet. I don't know what options we have, but if it's a AAA game, we should have a variety of options. So
it should work as well, especially when you look at the lobby system from Laceplay, where you can just decorate your entire room completely and then put up stickers and put up posters and all that stuff. That would be amazing to see, that sort of detail that you can put into, because then it gives a more personalized look. Speaking of, there's also the figure mode. That piece of content that looked cool, but then you realize, what do I do with this?
Yeah, the digital. I don't know. That must be some Japanese shit. They must use that shit.
Could be.
Yeah, they must use that shit in Japan, bro. I don't get it. I tried to do it, and I tried to collect the figures in Rev, and I'm just like, yo, this is boring. Fuck this shit, bro.
I did like the content we got from the internet, where they actually made some cool memes based and then redid it using the figure mode in Xrd Rev. Like, you had that picture of the guy that speaks to this blonde girl in sunglasses. She's just like, this game here. It's amazing. They did it with Sin and Ramlethal instead, and it was such a really good one-to-one comparison. I was just like,
that's actually hilarious. Well, yeah. Then if you can make memes with it, then it might have some value for me.
It has some creative value, exactly.
But yeah, I'm interested in all the modes. Also heard about them making the 2v2 a potential actual online mode at some point as well. So that's something we got to look out for. Guilty Gear 2v2. That's going to be pretty nutty.
We did actually get a small taste of it. Like, I actually played off stream the arcade mode with Faust, and then it was just like, when you fight, the first character you fight is the one that be like, oh hey, you're a pretty good guy, let me tag along. And then when you actually get to the end boss, then that character will come up and say like, hey, let's do this together. And then you have this crazy matchup against this boss variant of a character.
Oh, that's
And then you try to open them up, and then do massive cool combos against them. It's just like, yeah, it's cool. Would it be cool if I can do like in sync with my partner? Because the partner
Yeah.
was just an AI, so it was just like he would just randomly mash stuff. And I was just like, yeah, okay,
But like if you could trigger, like switches,
yeah,
like tag team, like if you could do tag,
yeah,
like Street Fighter Cross Tekken kind of style, where
yeah,
like you
exactly.
do a
Or
combo
similar
and
to like
that's
another
it.
person playing that character, and it's like, okay, I do this now, and you can follow that up so that he will still be in the hurt stun mode,
I
so that we
think I
can
heard
build upon it.
something about Guilty Gear trying to do something like that, where you get two fighting game players versus two at the same time, and then they try to work together as a team. But fighting game players don't like doing that. So
No.
yeah, we play fighting
Went
games
into-
because we don't got no friends. So
That's true. That's true.
don't ask me to work together, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so let's
We'll
get
see
to,
how this will go.
So let's get to the meat of the podcast, which is Strive.
Yeah.
Hate it, love it. Okay, so let's talk about the love it first. We're gonna stick to the positive first.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
We're gonna spend a good amount of time talking about all the things we really like about the game, and then we'll talk about the one thing.
That one thing.
That one fucking thing.
Oh yeah.
Nothing can be perfect in this world. Perfection truly does not exist. It's
Right.
too much to ask for, you know?
True that.
Yeah,
Good start.
So the thing that I like about Guilty Gear, number one, people said this game had no sauce. This game's combo was slow.
Mhm.
They said that this game was easy. It's going to be scrub. It's going to be full of
Oh, yeah.
scrubs. Listen, I did the mission mode. I immediately saw from the mission mode. I was like, oh, you can't just mash on wake up here. Oh,
No.
you can't just mash out super whenever you want. Oh, you can't even mash in block stun. You literally have to let go of block and then time your reversal, or else you're gonna get counter hit. You know, you're going to and these are all good things to me, by the way. Like, because the game forces you. Now, I'll say this: there's two ways to play Guilty Gear. There is some entry level bias to the game, with the fact that all the characters that casuals would want to play, Ram, May, they all have these Potemkin, they all have these really huge normals that basically give them free counter hits. And they also do a chunk of damage as well. So the characters are kind of made in a way. Well, Kai's not made like that. Kai doesn't get much from stray hits, unfortunately, and I think that's because Kai is meant to be a character for people who want to try,
Yeah.
But Soul is kind of like that too, where Soul can just get stray hits all day, and he does like stupid damage off stray hits. But all the characters that people gravitate to because they're easy to pick up day one, I've noticed the trend that those characters, you don't need combos, you don't need to know the RC system. They can beat you just by getting stray hits. Like, you could actually be the better player, but if you're getting hit, by a lot of stray hits, they will beat you. So that is something that Daisuke did say that he wanted to do, is he wanted to make it easy for people to not have to do combos to get damage. So with that knowledge and with that information, if you're the better player, just don't get hit. That's pretty much what Daisuke is saying. Don't get hit.
Yeah.
Which is something I like, because it forces the better player to use the mobility, the frame traps, the all the higher level techniques to not get hit.
Yeah. And I think that's
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, and I think that is also a good way to connect back to it, because I also did some of the mission modes, and then I realized, holy crap, that is actually something that is very advanced. For instance, dash canceling, which was the one we did with Sol. And then I realized, like, this is actually very specific, so you have an indirect linker here. So, meaning that this is not a Gatling, this is a linker. Like, the moment you cancel your dash, you need to time it perfectly right before your opponent can block.
Yep.
And that makes it a linker. And that means that we have some depth here, because doing a dash cancel and then following up with the right attack is something that put in Blaze Blue. And that was a game people complained about of being a casual fighting game.
Listen, I broke my hands playing Blaze Blue. I did trials, and after that, I just never touched that game. That game was hard. And
it was fun.
Yeah, so like, you also have air dash canceling as well. So Like for example, you could do jump kick and then dash cancel your jump attack into another jump attack to make
Oh
a jail. So instead of basically doing jump cancels, you do jump dash cancels, which actually
yeah,
adds a whole nother layer of complexity because you can actually mess around and get some pretty crazy corner carry combos off
yeah.
an anti-air. And also, let's talk about the thing that I like as well. You can literally jab anti-air and then pick up the combo grounded.
Oh yeah.
Like, so like for example with Kai, let me see if I can find a clip of me doing that against somebody. But yeah, I have a clip of me doing that, and I actually did it several times in the. Oh yeah, here it is. I did it several times in the whatchamacallit. The oh, here's the clip. I'm pulling it up right now. I did it
Okay.
several times yesterday playing, and basically I was able to use 2K anti-air, which is something Kai's always been able to do. But then you just pick it up immediately because you can
Oh
cancel
yeah.
2K, 5K into anything. You know,
Oh yeah.
you can even jump cancel it. You know, so you can see that I'm like, you can see this combo right here, and that's something that like the amount of ways you can get damage in Guilty Gear is actually ridiculous. Like
Oh
there are
yeah.
so many death, there's so much death, and there's so many routes. You know, and I'm even starting to notice that some combos where I RC mid screen, I might not even need to be doing that. Like I could actually pick up the combo. Um, you could pick up combos in a variety of ways.
Yeah.
So that's something that I really like as well. Is that there is so many there no two games are the same. No two games are the same. No two games. You make the same decisions. Every game is very different. You know,
Oh yeah.
in my opinion, because of
Yeah.
all the options that you have.
Absolutely. It basically feels like they're boiling it down to the basics and then they're making things more depth, so to say. Meaning that we're going back to some basic stuff right now, but putting it together that has been brought together over the years. For instance, cross ups, dash cancels, and then reverse back dashes, for instance, because then they actually had a mission about it. It's like, I want you to get knocked down by Kai here, and then I want you to do a reverse backdash on wake up to get
Yeah.
away from his meaty attack.
And I also saw an interesting tech as well where you can backdash blue RC to make things whiff on reaction. So I think a guy did it with Maze Dolphin. Like if you see Maze Dolphin come in, you backdash blue RC and then you punish the Dolphin.
Oh,
Like that's a hard punish, and then it gets a huge counter hit. And you get the whole combo and everything. And
yeah.
here's another thing I like about Guilty Gear Strive: counter hit combos. Now here's something I found out that I don't see anybody doing yet. You can combo off your sweep if it's counter hit
Oh,
without
yeah.
RC. Like you literally just do sweep, and then you then do your mid screen B&B or corner B&B or whatever, like right after.
Yeah.
You know, you could do that off sweep, mid screen combos with Kai. So yeah, I'll talk about from a Kai perspective.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really at first I thought Kai was okay until I figured out how his game plan works, and basically they took away Greed Sever, and dare I say they gave him something better than an overhead. Hit the
Oh, yeah.
cartwheel kick that used to be Greed Sever, but is now whatever the fuck is called Food Arc. Listen, I speak French. I live in France. That's a stupid name. All right, that's a stupid name. Like I'm tired of it. I can't. I had to put Kai in Japanese because I got tired of him saying "dire eclat" in like his weird ass American accent. Like it just sounded so terrible to me. I'm just like, God, they couldn't hire a French person to do like a French American or like "d'éclat." You know, they couldn't do that. Like no. Kai's
Speaking
French.
of which,
Like he's French, right? Like
yeah,
hire a
because that's
French
actually
person.
because that's actually the thing about Kai and Illyria. Illyria was placed within the center of Europe, somewhere close by France, and therefore they still have this like Eastern Kingdom type of look because of it. And that was something I expected. Like, hey, shouldn't you like have it in the more of like European style? Because now apparently the story mode is taking place in America now,
Yeah,
which is the reason why we see Gold Lewis, for instance.
Gold Lewis the goat. So yeah, anyway, Kai, I felt like at first I didn't understand how to play him, but as I did the lab, I did a 2-day lab session when the game first came out on PlayStation, so I didn't even play. Sacrificed my place in heaven to lab for the GGST_Kai hashtag on Twitter. I did
sure,
that
sure.
I did that for you guys. So I sacrificed my place in heaven for you guys. But point is, I found a lot of stuff, and I feel like the food arc is way better than Greed Sever. I think I was like cursing Daisuke. I was like, give me back Greed Sever. And then once I started using it, I was like, wait a minute, this is better. Because see, Greed Sever was minus. Like
Yeah.
significantly minus. Now you can continue. Now when Kai gets pushed out, he can continue his pressure. You know what I mean? Meterlessly.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, because before, if you got pushed out, you would have to do stun edge YRC or stun edge FRC to get back in and continue your
Yeah.
pressure. You know, but with the food arc, now you get pushed out. Cartwheel kick, hey-oh, my turn again. You didn't hear
Let's
me.
try again.
Please. Let's go again. It's my turn.
Let's see if I can get an opening this time.
Yeah, it's my turn. And no one's talking about how busted Kai is. Kai is more busted than Soul, in my opinion. Kai is almost as busted as Ram and Eno.
And I think that actually goes into the same thing here, which goes into Strive. For those who don't know, Sign was on Kusoge levels. Like, some characters were just
Oh.
bullshit. And because of it, that's when Revelator came in and said, like, right, we're not going to nerf these guys. We will make adjustments. And we will also make some better improvements on these characters that are not having the best matchup right now. And that's how we got to this Revelator 2 situation, where a lot of good stuff came into it and made it much more fun to play.
Yeah.
And that's something that's happening with Strive right now. Like, we're going to see tournaments happening with Strive. We will see developers realizing, hey, we saw some stuff, so we're going to make some adjustments. Maybe just for the first release character, which could be Happy Chaos or Gold Lewis. That will be the moment where they say, like, hey, we made some adjustments. Kai's like overhead sweep, we did it so that he can get closer, but he has a longer recovery, meaning that the opponent gets a small chance to strike back or something like that.
Well, I mean, if he doesn't have that, then Kai becomes absolutely garbage. Like, that's the
That's
only
true.
that's the only thing
yeah.
he has. Like,
Yeah,
he has,
the most important.
And let me tell you, the way you play Kai is almost the same as plus R Kai, in a way.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah.
literally plus R Kai, but by different inputs and different combos, different ways. So let me explain it. So plus R Kai, your goal was to make them block, cancel into 3H, which was plus 15, do a mix. If they block that, either cancel into the lightning spear, so you can be plus again, or, you know, cancel into 3H if you can reach, you know? And then dash back in, do another mix, 3H, do another mix. If you get the knockdown, then you do the charge stun edge from the air, and then it comes down. And basically, the whole concept is, you get knocked down by Kai, I put you in the corner, you're in the blender for the rest of the game. And I'm always plus, you know? And Kai is literally, he was kind of like that in Rev, but he got pushed out quite a bit, and then he had to play the grinder game, you know? But in this game, he's 100% plus R Kai. Like, I knock you down, I'm in, you're getting frame trapped to death. Until I'm always plus. Because, see, here's the thing, right? Shock state. When I put you in shock state, almost everything becomes plus. And I've heard a lot of people say that they cannot anti-air the food arc when they're in shock state. So when I do close slash, heavy slash, food arc, that apparently jails.
Oh.
Yeah, when you're in shock state. So basically, I can literally just loop. I literally have a pressure loop in that situation where I can keep going either low, overhead grab, low overhead grab. I could just keep you know what I mean? I could just keep looping over
with
and
your
over
block string. Yeah,
until I
until eventually the opponent eventually just like saw this and tried to do something about it, like tried to do a poke in return to interrupt the string, or maybe just try to do something.
No, but you can't poke. That's the thing. The only thing you could probably do is do maybe reversal super, reversal DP in very specific parts. Or you could try to mash and guess the mix up. So like now here we're going to get into the next level, right? The 5K mix. So Kai's 5K, they kind of made him like Robo Kai, where, you know, Robo Kai gets 5K, 5K mix, 5K, 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 5K mix, you know, kind of like that. Like, they really want you to use 5K with Kai. And basically, I had to explain to this other Kai player that I hosted the other day. I said, listen, Kai's got some of the best frame traps in the game. Like that's
Oh, yeah.
literally his whole thing is frame traps. And you do 5K, and then if they mash, and it's like Soul with the close slash, where you do close slash and then you frame trap it into 5K, or you frame trap it into sweep. You know, that's a mix up. Or you just do close slash stagger, like close slash, close slash, close slash, heavy slash. You know.
Oh, yeah.
So for example, thank you. My wife just bought me some croissants. Appreciate it.
Nice.
So with that being said, Kai wants to do 5K either into 2K sweep, 2K dust. So that's already a overhead low 50-50 right there, and that jails as well. That jails. So you're not, if you mash, you're getting hit. I can also do 5K into 6K, which does not jail, but it basically gives me plus frames into more plus frames. You know? Man. So you can mash out of that if you read it, but if you mash too late, then you get a fat, like 6K gives you the big counter hit. And then I get a whole combo from there. You know, like I get my optimal from there. But then if I do 6K, I can then cancel again, either straight into dust. I can do 6H to go for a counter hit, you know, delayed 6H and get a fat counter hit. I could just go straight back into 5K, and now you got to guess again, overhead or low. Or I could just run up and grab you, tick throw, because 6K is +4, you know, so I can literally have enough time to dash up, and then I could dash up and either delayed button and counter hit if you try to tech the throw, or just throw you. So like it's actually crazy. Like that's why I say like Kai is kind of busted, because once he knocks you down, like you are guessing for your life with every button. With every button, there's so many mix-ups.
Which also goes. Back.
Hold on, Potter. I haven't even talked about the close slash mix-up.
Okay. I just wanted to make an example to chat, like those are listening right now. We can tell, like we saw up first positive was that there was some depth, and you can tell right now from Juste describing a lot of setting ups with Kai alone. This is just one character that he's describing every single route they can do, every single technique, and every single method he's going for. That tells you a little bit something. If it didn't have any depth at all, Kai wouldn't have just a single projectile and then greed sever and his DP, and there would be little to no connections to everything. And then it was just like, oh, you just do this thing over and over again, and then you'll win.
Yeah, exactly.
Now he's describing a lot of pressure that his opponent can be experiencing.
And there's a lot of mind games in this pressure as well, because I got to make reads on you. Like it's not free pressure. Like you can like for example, I was playing Abyss yesterday, and he was doing a very good job of knowing when to mash in my pressure. So like I would do 5K, dash up 5K, dash up, and then when I went for the grab, he would jab or you would tech. So like you still got to read your opponent. It's not free pressure and it's not free damage with Kai. But let's talk about the close slash mix up now. In the RC mix up. So this is something I started doing a lot online, which is when I RC, I do drift RC, and then I do nothing, and I let the time run out. And I tell you why I do that. That's it's so god. Like I've caught some people with this. When people see the time run out, they think it's their turn. and then you, but you're still somewhat plus a little bit, right? So, so then I just hit it with the close. I was like, bah, counter hit. It is the best thing. You just wait, and I played against some high level players. They know what I'm going for, so they just block. You know, they just hold block or they FD to try to push me out. But I can tell you right now that you know, the tech that I've seen right now is when you RC on block, wait for the time to run out, because that gives you more options. You know, because then at that point you can grab. You can strike. You can get a counter hit if they mash, because your button will come out first. You get a mix up because they don't know which way you're gonna attack. You know, like it's kind of like a super delayed like RC button. So, like for example, the close slash mix up that I keep talking about. You could delay the follow up. You could delay the Gatling for close slash. Ooh. Like I'm talking super delay. Like I could do close slash, heavy slash with that timing that I just described, right? So like it's like you can actually bait people into thinking that you're not going to follow up something, and then you follow it up because you're still plus, you know. So like, yeah, that's something I really like about Guilty Gear is the level of depth to the game.
Yeah.
Like there is so, and I'm only scratching the surface. I'm pretty sure there's
Yeah.
some stuff I haven't even like. I'm seeing stuff on Twitter. Like apparently there's a throw OS. There's a I thought there was no OSs in this game, but apparently there's a throw OS. So there you go. Praise be to our Lord Daisuke.
Yeah. So that adds more to the depth, and I think we have just talked a lot about that. So as we said before, and I feel the same thing with Faust. It's just like, okay, some very basic stuff here and there, some very few gatlings, a few command stuff I can do from here on out, but it kind of makes me come back and think more about it, that it kind of has been a change on Faust as a character as well. You know that he has this psychotic, like very menacing, dark, sinister look on his face. And I kind of, with a friend of mine, we actually came to the conclusion that there's a reason he is like that. Because this has changed how I play my gameplay with Faust as well. Sometimes I mostly keep to myself and just being like reacting to what my opponent is doing and then trying to punish that.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes when I put an item and I see like this is a good moment for me to go on the offensive, that makes me that I just gonna go complete bonkers into it, throw items, make some pokes, throw item, get a knockdown, throw item, and do something similar to that. And it kind of goes back to his graphic design. Like Faust is currently looking like he's insane. One moment he's just dragging along his feet, and then just like a zombie. Another time he just like goes crazy and just goes dashing forwards towards you and going on the complete offense. And that's the thing like I saw like from his design. That's the reason why they redid his design as well, because they wanted him to have him less on this aggressive stage, which it was in Exert, which is like we want you to be like in two stages, either a slow moving zombie or this crazy leaper with Faust.
Crazy fast. Basically, Walking Dead zombie versus World War Z zombie.
Exactly. And that I think that was a good example actually. And that was the thing that I realized as well. Like if I find a good opening with my items and I keep you in the corner, like okay, now I can actually be more aggressive and just go full on out. Until then, it's just like wait for him to do something stupid that I can punish. That's the reason why Faust also doesn't have so much long combos, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
And why some of his attacks are just like have a good luck cover. It's just like I'm supposed to do this in a combo as a finish. And that was the thing that I felt was much better.
So another thing I like about Guilty Gear Strive is I like the graphics and everything is really good, but I like the fact that the game has slowed down, so now footsies are more pronounced. You know? In my opinion, I feel like footsies. I feel like Guilty Gear footsies before was just a lot of air dashing and jumping around, and I can see how like it's cool when you know how to play the game. It looks cool, but when you don't know how to play the game, and I'm coming from a person who learned how to play. But I also remember what it was like when I didn't, know how to play. And when I was looking at footage, I usually had to look at the same footage 3 or 4 times just because when I first watched it, I had no idea what was going on. And then I played a little bit, and I went back and watched it and started to kind of get it. And, it took a lot of time before I started understanding what I was looking at, But Strive is so easy to follow, Like it's super smooth and easy to follow, and the gameplay is fluid. The footsies are fluid. The phases of the game are fluid, And I saw Daisuke do his artwork, and his artwork kind of had soul, but the artwork was very motion oriented. See if you could find that artwork. It was on Reddit. I saw it.
Okay.
But yeah, Daisuke, those promotional artworks that they've been putting out on their Twitter or whatever.
Oh.
Let me see if I can find it, and I'll pull it up. But I do believe that the game is kind of maybe it's on Guilty Gear PR. Maybe it might be on Guilty Gear PR.
Okay.
Hold on a second. But yeah, let me see.
Yeah, but I think like the redone for the majority of the characters was a really good idea for them to go with, because then it was just like, okay, we're going back to basics. If we just had Faust changed to little from nothing from XR, people would be just being like, how can I approach? How can I fight against this crazy doctor with a paper bag over his head? And that's
I found the artwork. Yeah. So this is the artwork of Soul that Daisuke drew, and you can see the fluidity in he said basically this is how he feels about Guilty Gear. Like this is how he wants the game to feel, and represented in this visual. And I kind of feel like, honestly, that is how the game feels to me. It does feel very fluid. and motion and very motiony, but at the same time everything's pronounced. So like when you're in the neutral phase, like there's a lot of flow, like people are jumping around, walking back and forth. Even though I feel like jumping and air dashing around gets punished quite a bit. Like I noticed a lot of people who try to play the old Guilty Gear style way where they just air dash and jump around a lot. That doesn't work in Strive. Like you're gonna get shit on for that. Like I played some people like that, and it did not work out well for them. But you want to play more grounded footsies. This game actually incentivizes grounded footsies, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Even though you have all these mobility options, like it's still better to play the grounded footsie game. And then when you get in, then the game just like turns up and it like becomes fiery, and you know, the opponent can feel the pressure and you feel the pressure to mix up your opponent, and you know, then it just gets like, you know, like and that, I guess that's why it's called the tension gauge, because then the tension just ramps up and up and up and up and up and up, and you know, and that's what makes the gameplay loop addictive, and that's what makes it so I end up playing it for like 10 hours a day, you know.
Exactly, and I think that's a good way to explain it as well. With that graphic design, you saw like the colors were a little bit saturated, but those more stronger colors stood out, so to say. So it becomes this contrast between certain things, which we can see from the characters' design, and also compared to the background, meaning that they stand out, so that you have a better view of what's going on the character, so that it doesn't get mixed in with the background. And also, as you said, with the tension, it's like more ground-based, meaning that some people will like it, others will not. So it would be like the sort of good thinking strategy. Meaning that if you jump and dash into me again, I'm just gonna 6p. And I've seen that with a lot of Andre players as of late.
Yeah. But yeah, so now like that's the thing that is there anything else we like about Strive? I kind of like everything about the game. I love the
netcode.
Oh yeah, the netcode. There's no lag.
It was some really good stuff. I played against a lot of players. I played against my friend Kino, and we had good playable moments because we had trouble in actually getting into the same lobby in Xrd. And the moment we actually picked up the game here on Strive and we managed to get into the same player lobby or the same park and started our matches, it became a big sensation, so to say, for all of us. And we just went complete bonkers and did our matches. He decided to hop out because he needed to get more adjusted to Strive's gameplay.
Yeah. Like the thing about the netcode is that during the game's release, I haven't played like in Japan or nothing, but I did in the beta, and I was pretty satisfied. Like, you know, I saw like, you know, like no lag there or whatever. So, you know, I'm pretty confident in netcode. But yeah, we've been playing up to about 200 MS games with literally no lag at all. Like absolutely none. Like no lag, no slowdown. There's slight rollbacks, but the rollbacks are so fast that you don't even notice them. Like there are some times where I accidentally hear a hit sound, but then he's blocking. But the rollbacks are so quick you don't even see them. Like in most other fighting games, like the current, you know, or the previous best netcode game, which was Mortal Kombat, you can visibly see the rollbacks. You know? And let's talk about another thing. People that I have a certain ping to in other games, I have less ping to in Guilty Gear. Have you noticed that?
Oh, yeah.
So, like, me and you, for example, we might have, like, 50, 80 ping, but in Guilty Gear, we'll have, like, 20 ping. You know? Or, like, me to Evil Spawn, which before was, like, 150 ping in Mortal Kombat, or 180 ping, because he's in the Middle East. It's, like, literally less than 100 ping in Guilty Gear Strive, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know how they do it, but apparently they have broken the laws of physics, and they are communicating, and we are communicating with the servers at extremely faster rates than usual. You know?
That's some really good stuff to see in the future, where they'll be like, oh, we made some fine adjustments to netcode. Now we're like, that would be great, but it's fine-tuning something that is just like already perfect. Like, why fix something that isn't broke?
Yeah, exactly. But now we got to talk about the one thing. The one thing, chat. The fucking lobbies. Alright. So, we threw a tournament last night for PC.
Yeah.
We could have got a lot more viewers. Could have got a lot more hype. Could have raised a lot more money for the players. But one thing stood in our way, Ponteronten.
Yeah.
We had
the
good
lobbies.
viewership though. We did have good viewership, but
we did.
Could have been better.
Yeah.
It would have been like at least 200 plus if we had if the lobbies had worked. It would have been much bigger, you know?
Absolutely. Was it not because of the for those
like
that understand,
100.
it was very difficult for many of our entrants to actually hop into the lobbies that we were setting up. So what the problem was that we wanted to use a search ID, which was very easy. It's like you just type it in and then he will give you like, oh, this is the one you're looking for, right?
Mhm.
Because that would make it easier to just find it and hop into it. And we tried it, but the system was just like, oh, I didn't look at it. So I'm just going to give you this whole list of all these other players that has an open lobby. And that was the first massive problem for us. The second next time we're trying to like, okay, we'll just copy the lobby link via Steam and then just put it on the Discord and say like, there, hop into this one. And it didn't work. Like Steam reacts, but Guilty Gear does not. So it was just like, what? And then we come to the third solution we tried to do, was just like throw it up in the open and then have people hop into it and hope that they find it. The problem is, as a lot of players are doing it. So they have their own private little lobby there that they start up with their friends.
You got to refresh like 20, 30 times just to see the room. Because they only pull up a limited number of rooms. They don't pull up all the rooms that are open.
Yeah,
which is dumb.
And that was also the dumb thing also. We then tried, I at least tried, while this tournament's going on, that you just like, okay, go into a park, start up an open lobby there, because then you create this small house that people can just go into and knock into. The problem is like we did, and it worked when it felt like it. Sometimes it put up this house that people could see and then you can go into it and join. Other times when you and I were going to try it midstream, then it was just like it wasn't there. Like I said, like look for the guard that says like, hey, would you like to open a player lobby? Because he will stand right next to it.
The two doors in Ponteronten is a background reference to false. Nice lore.
That's actual lore. Good job, guys. That one takes me to Leo's place, so I can just like surprise him. That one takes me to Daisuke's. But yeah, anyway, back to the lobby. So we just saw it and gave up and decided just like, you know what? Forget it.
Yeah.
All players who can, please, go to the park, go against your opponent, come into the Discord, and then stream the match so that we can commentate it.
Literally.
And
like, we literally had to just Discord stream the game. Like,
yeah. That was the thing. That was the like final solution, and then we actually could get the whole thing rolling quickly, and that was making it much more easier to like do the whole thing, because we shouldn't have to be dealing with this. And that was really one of the things. Like, I'm happy we actually came to a good ending on this tournament.
Yeah,
the only thing that bothered me was just like
it took us 2 hours just to do the first 2 rounds.
Yeah,
you know, until I said fuck it, and we literally skipped most of the turn. Like, it's not that like we had like 50 people and we barely got to see any games.
Yeah,
you know, until we got to like damn near top 8. You know,
exactly, and that was the big problem that I felt as well. It's just like we should not have to deal with this much technical difficulties. And if Arxis is listening, please fix that, or at least make sure that we can send out a lobby link and then put it on Discord, and then they can join in.
Even more importantly, make sure that the player rooms, the cabs need to work.
Oh yeah, the cabs.
That's also the issue, is that when we did get people in the room, certain people couldn't match up with one another for some reason. Like, they would go on the cab and then it would start teleporting them around the room, like when they readied up, like they could or like force getting bumped out. And PC has some issues as well, where like keep getting kicked from the server when you're in parks. Like, everyone gets kicked.
Yeah,
it's almost as if PC is pretty much like beta level lobbies.
Yeah, I felt the same thing, because that was the same thing that happens to me on PC at times. It's the same thing that happened to me during the open betas. It's just like I start up a match with this person on the ranked tower, and then it takes a while, and then it gives me like, "Are you ready?" And then it gives me this ready screen. I press yes, and nothing happens. Like, both of us have said ready up, but the game is just like, nope. Let me just load a little bit, and then it boots out one of us from the screen. I was just like, what?
Guilty Gear Strive would be a 10 out of 10 if it wasn't for those damn lobbies.
Exactly.
Just put, like, and this is something I don't understand. Like, why reinvent the wheel on this thing?
Yeah.
Like, why? You already, like Arxis, you already have functional lobbies.
Yeah.
Like, the Grand Blue lobby is something I really like. You had a ship with a whole bunch of cabs. You just
Yeah.
go in, sit at a fucking cab, and wait for your game. Same thing
Yeah.
with Rev 2. Like, I don't see what's wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Mm.
Why did they have to reinvent the wheel? I don't understand. That's something I will never understand. They already had a functioning system.
Yeah, that was something that actually I thought to myself back then a little bit yesterday or the day before, is that you remember that scene in that Marvel Avengers movie where Thanos takes this dagger, puts it in his fingers, just so it's perfectly balanced as all things should.
Yeah.
I expect to myself like, well, at one end you have this perfect netcode, and then on the other end you have like terrible lobby system for player matches.
Like I said, perfection cannot exist in the world. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard that saying, but the world is not perfect, therefore perfection cannot exist. And this game is literally one step away from true perfection in a fighting game.
Yeah.
Like, it has everything. It's got depth. It's easy access. You can mash and win. You can sweat. They got floors for sweat lords. They got floors for casuals. Like, it's the perfect mix of everything.
Yeah.
With good netcode, it's playable globally. Like, and that's not even a hype or a hyperbole. It's literally playable globally. Like, I could literally go in any region and find games. But yet you get shitty lobbies. So
I think Fist of Heavy says this right now. It's the monkey's paws. Like, you get awesome netcode, but everything around this sort of with the word net is terrible.
Yeah, but I do expect it to be fixed. So
I hope so too. It kind of goes back to what we said last time. It's just like old game good, bad good new game good eventually.
Yes, exactly. Next few updates: Guilty Gear Strive, Rev 2, or whatever the fuck the expansion is going to be called. I'm pretty sure, at some point this game will even itself out, and I'm happy that we're getting new characters so fast. So yeah, overall, I give Guilty Gear a 9 out of 10 myself.
Okay.
Just gotta fucking, just gotta fix those lobbies. So anyway, that's it. Question and answer segment, guys. You guys got any questions for us?
I was gonna say also what my recent score I was gonna give as well. I was actually gonna give it an 8 out of 10 because I'm a lore nut, so I actually have to go through the story mode first and see like if can change it up to a 9 as well, because I really want to see what's happening right now. Because if they leave me with like a small cliffhanger like Excerpt Sign did, then I will be like, how could you? How dare you?
Well, we are getting a story expansion, so you guys let me know today. Do you want me to, after this podcast, do you want me to stream the story, or are we just gonna go straight into gameplay? You guys.
I think it's a good idea to just play the game. I think Arxis wasn't got some news that some people were just streaming story mode with very little like commentary, and they were not happy with that. So I think the best thing is just wait a while.
I'm going to commentate on it, bro.
All right,
I
that's
can't
true.
keep my mouth shut, so All
All
right.
But
So any questions? Hopefully it's fixed by Evo at the very least.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah,
too.
it has to be fixed by Evo. Has to be.
I hope so too.
But
especially when it's online now.
Even if it's it is online, so it has to be fixed. Has to be fixed by Evo. Definitely.
Yeah.
110%. Any balance changes you hope to see? Yes. I don't know much about the game, so I could be talking out of my butt right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like Axel gets to do a lot of nothing, while the people who play against him have to work extremely hard to get in. Now, I have played versus Axel in other Guilty Gears, and I felt like I had more of a shot against Plus R Axel or Rev 2 Axel than I do against Strive Axel.
Okay.
Strive Axel feels extremely oppressive, Yeah. He feels.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, he feels extremely oppressive. He has options. Like, he can literally just stand there, wait for you to do something, and just snipe you. Full screen, by the way. He doesn't need to move. He doesn't need to make a read. He just simply needs to stand. He just needs to make sure that he's always full screen, which is pretty easy when he's got full screen normals, and he can always push you out.
Yeah, I think that is also a good example because we had Skid Marky, and it was awesome to see that matchup against Lotte Leon, because Lotte Leon still stuck with Potemkin all the way through. It was just a shame that a good amount of things that we thought that Skid Marky could pull off, it was something that was making it really hard for the matchup with Lotte Leon's Potemkin. So
even when
somebody
Latte got in, like Skid
Yeah.
basically was able to,
get out of trouble.
block. Well, he had good defense enough to not get
Yeah.
grabbed.
That's
That's
true.
number one. So, but then once he read the throw, then it was back to full screen, and it's like
Yeah.
GG's. It's kind of like
Exactly.
it's kind of like bruh, like that's
Mhm.
that's kind of OP. Like,
Yeah.
but like I said, I need to lab. It is still day one or week one, so maybe I'm talking on my ass. I haven't labbed the matchup. I'm just, just a warning, guys. I'm just going off of how I feel. But my disclaimer,
Yeah.
I have not labbed the matchup. I have not done any of my homework yet on it.
Yeah.
So, but I'm just saying how it feels, right now. And it just feels like even against Kai, like I played Skid Marky in the tournament as well.
Yeah.
And I played one Axel, and he was not good at keeping me out. So I was able to get in.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to like who's using the character as well, and how they use the character. For me, I think that certain changes I would like to see would mostly just be like empowering certain characters, because I see very few Sato players, but then again, he's one of the more advanced characters.
Well, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time.
Yeah, it's absolutely. I would also the adjustments I would love to see, like for Faust, is just like not really like a game balance thing. It's mostly just like developers themselves, like, here's how you use the character. Similar to like, oh, do you know has this ability, this thing, that thing. Here are some basic bread and butters, and then you get the train going from there. Now, I'm kind of just like many other players, like Krakatoa and King Rasta. We're trying to understand, like, what do you want me to do with this character? Exactly. How do you want me to do it? To like more specific.
Exactly, and also like to go back to the Axel thing, I think that his moves should have more recovery if he's able to do them from full screen, to be honest. I
like
think
this command grab.
Yeah, there should be variable recovery. So like if he's full screen and the move travels like a certain distance, it should have more recovery. Like he shouldn't be able to instantly recover after doing full screen stuff and then be able to keep you out again. Like I feel like if I block his moves, like especially the move where he pulls you to him on block and then it's still his turn, like it's kind of like, what? It's like I blocked it. Like, and now I gotta guess again for blocking correctly. Like, you're crazy. Like, that's crazy. Like, come on, man. Like it should be my turn. If you block that move, he should get punished for that, I think, honestly. If he does the Rinsen and he pulls you towards him, he should be minus.
Oh yeah.
At least I think. Or it should at least be 0, Like, I don't know. Chip as well. I feel like Chip jump 2K, hella cheap, ambiguous mix up. Completely ambiguous. You have no idea what side he's going to land on. They need to put some landing recovery on that move. Like Chips, literally, I just lose to Chip players who literally just do jump 2K, mix up on whatever side. And I'm like, I can't even DP it because I don't know what side I'm on. Because they jump so high above you that you can't even see your character. You can't see what side
That's
you're
true.
on. So you can't do any reversals, right? You don't know what it's like. Jump 2K is like carrying Chip players right now. Like, it's crazy. Thank you for reminding me about Jump 2K, Vermeers. Thank you for reminding me about Jump 2K. Yeah, that shit is yikes, bro.
Yeah. It's a spooky thing.
They say where he pulls you, you're minus 11 on block. I mean, they say that, but you're minus 11 in the air.
Yeah.
So when you land, the minus 11 is already gone. He gets another mix-up. It might as well make him plus because he's still on the ground. So you're in block stun in the air. So it's like, what you gonna do about that? Like,
Speaking of balance changes, we got a good comment here. I mean, are we gonna address the dolphin in the room? It's just like, yeah, you got a point there. Fuck May, as in disregard greatly with massive distaste for Kazufer Totsugeki.
Listen, I feel like May's all right. I was hating on May, but I will say this: May is like Ram. May and Ram are the same character. Literally. Well, I don't mean like in a gameplay way. I mean in the fact that they are made so that stray hits do a stupid amount of damage. You want to beat May? Don't get hit.
Don't get hit by the dolphins. Don't get the sweeps.
Yeah, don't get hit.
Avoid Leo SJ as much as possible.
Yeah, I mean it's tough. I'm not gonna cap. Just like against Ramlethal, it's tough to not get hit with a move that takes up 75% of the screen. You know, one button move that takes up 75% of the whole playable area. Same thing with Mei. Her moves take up like 50% of the playable area. And she also has like 3 jumps and a way to stay in the air like forever, and it's fucking stupid. You know,
Yeah.
but I have beaten many Meis and I have beaten many Rams. So the secret, like I said, is just don't get hit, because most Mei and Ram players have no way to open you up other than doing random ass dolphin, random ass jump in, or just throwing out their anchor or sword randomly in neutral. They literally, that's all they know how to do. So if you don't get hit by those things, then you should be good to go.
Yeah, true that.
You know?
Goes back to what we were talking about. Don't get hit.
Yeah, we talked about it. I learned it in Guilty Gear Plus R. I was like, man, I realized if I don't get hit by Cliff, I win.
True that.
Revolutionary thoughts.
Absolutely.
Any other questions?
I think someone asked a question earlier, but I think it's buried in the chat. We just have to wait until it comes up again.
Slide RC adds so much stuff. Yes, that's true. Is there any other questions? I'm scrolling back up to see if anyone had any questions. People keep asking about Soul. Now I'm going to talk about Soul. Soul is good, but he's not that good.
Yeah. The Shoto. One of the Shotos, I would say.
I'm going to say this. Soul was broken in the beta. He's not broken anymore, because they changed the one move that made him broke, which was close slash, being plus. They made it 0 now. So now there's a mind game. It's the same mind game with Kai, 5K. It's literally the same exact thing that I explained earlier. But yeah, Soul is weak to sweeps. So like Gunflame into anything is a sweep punish, you know? Except for Bandit Bringer, of course. You know? Bandit Bringer, you got a DP. But everything else, if he moves forward, if you block Gunflame, if he does Gunflame in your face and you block it and then he tries to do like Fafnir or some bullshit after, that's a sweep all day. And sweep counter hit gets you to optimal as well. But Soul is good, but you know, I'll say this. You can win with every character. You can make every character high level, but the more I play, and I did play a heaven level Soul, and he did beat me in the set because, you know, he was doing some he was playing better than I was. It was like 10-7 or something like that. But he was playing much better than I was. Yeah. And but I could tell that my character was better. You know? I could tell that Kai overall was better. You know?
It was maybe just because that Soul had a good matchup experience against Kai, so he's just like, I know how to do this.
Yeah, exactly. So you know, I feel like Kai is Ryu basically, and Soul is Ken. That's the best way to put it.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah. Let's see here. This is from Jake. How are you going to run tournaments with the current lobby situation?
PlayStation, the lobby should work by the time we do the PlayStation tournament, which I'm really glad I put the Strive Major so far into the future, which is pretty much in August. Oh wait, right here.
End of July.
In like July 31st, pretty much August. So yeah, I'm glad that I put it so far out, because that gives Arxis time to fix the place. The PlayStation lobbies also kind of don't work, but they do work better than the PC lobbies. But as far as PC, what we're going to do is we're just going to stream the matches on Discord. So the two people meet up in the park. One of them comes into the voice chat where me and Pont are, and then they stream their game to us, and then I'll stream it to the stream. Basically. So that's pretty much it. You know, that's
making
pretty
it
much
a little more, making it less complicated.
A little bit more complicated.
That situation.
But,
exactly.
But I will be paying for or getting the Discord Nitro or whatever. I heard there's a free trial Epic Games. I will be getting that so that every match will be, you know, everyone gets access to higher streaming functionality in the server. So that's good. Yeah, exactly. As long as the player does have a potato PC, is good, and most people don't, you know. So there it is.
Exactly.
But yeah, other than that, any other questions before we wrap up?
Mr. Potato here asks thoughts on Pot, the best character ever. Kappa face.
Potemkin is very strong in this game.
I think so as well. I think like if in the right hands, they can become a very difficult matchup for you. If they
Yes.
know, it goes back to like the majority of Potemkin players. Like they have a good knowledge of the character you're playing as well as Potemkin. So they have like, okay, these are the places I can strike. These are the places I can punish. Everything in between, and then you can get it.
Exactly. Like Potemkin is twice the size that he's ever been. Just to let you know. Like his character model, if you look at his character model in other games and his range and everything, and versus Strive, he's literally double the size with double the range.
Oh yeah.
You know, so that alone already makes him better. You know, because now he can literally swat you out the air with his far slash, and that covers once again 75% of the goddamn playable area. I don't know what it is with Strive, and they say, you know what, we're just gonna make every character Cliff. You know,
Yeah.
we're just gonna make everyone Cliff, bro, except for Kai, by the way.
Yeah.
Except for Kai. Fuck you in particular, Kai Maidens, but
Yeah.
yeah, we're just gonna we're just gonna make everyone be Cliff and have them have weapons and arms that just cover the whole fucking playable area. You know, but you got to be very patient playing against Potemkin. That's the secret to beating Potemkin. You got to be patient. You gotta pay very close attention when you're on defense because he will grab you. Like, don't think that Potemkin cannot grab you from a certain range. They will find a way. You know,
they will do certain ways to get close by, whether it's being a cancel hammerhead or even just the 6 kick, and then it's like, okay.
Yeah, it's like you might think like oh, we're a good distance away. We're just in neutral. He's not gonna grab. Whoa, I'm getting command grabbed.
What happened? Oh no, he's Robert castling it and doing his air throw. Oh no, I'm dead.
Oh yeah, hammerfall, instant PRC cancel. Command grab. Latte was doing that a lot last night. That was actually pretty crazy. He just goes before you know it, you're just getting fucking destroyed. So yeah, you don't like that you can now block ground to air hits with no FD. I like that because there's
a little bit.
Well, I'm gonna say this: there's other harder mechanics that you have to worry about than having to worry about that. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I like the fact that they trimmed some of the mechanics that were kind of redundant, like FD blocking in the air. You know, there's a lot of mechanics I'm glad they took out because they added a lot of new stuff that add a different type of depth to the game.
Yeah.
You know?
True that.
One more question, guys. One more question, and then we need to play some Guilty Gear.
If not, then we can talk about what we can expect from E3.
E3. Yeah. I haven't watched E3 in a very long time.
I must just read about it as well when it comes out in articles form, because there's way too much fluff in between sometimes. Sometimes certain of them, some presentations just be like, hey, we invited this artist to play some music that might have something to do with this game that you're about to see next. Oh, here we go.
Anyway, COREUPT gave us our last question. He said, what do you think about the pace and the cost of character rollouts? What do you mean, like the DLC?
Yeah,
I think I like the fact that they packaged the DLC with the cost of the game. If you buy the Ultimate Edition, you get the DLC as well.
Yeah.
I think that's I think that's a really good way of selling DLC, because one thing I hated about Grand Blue is that you bought the game and then you bought a character pass, but then you also had to buy the stages separately and the music separately, and you know, and the DLC, it took a while for DLC to start coming out as well. But Guilty Gear is like, okay, you get the DLC, you get this, you get that, and on top of that, we're dropping DLC 1 month after the game comes out. Like, I don't think I might be mistaken, but I've never seen that.
Yeah.
So it usually takes 6 months for DLC to come out.
Yeah, if the season pass was just the characters, I would feel like, maybe a little bit too much on that price. But since they're adding not only new characters but also new stages, which could also mean other song tracks, it would also mean that they will also add as well as the after story content. Then I feel like, it's a good price, it's a good bag, so to say. Especially
I do believe it's good value, because you're getting 5 characters, you're getting stages, you're getting modes, you're getting music. On top of all the free updates that they're going to be providing as well. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean,
So
yeah, and we got what 6 months left in the year, and we're getting 5 characters. So it's very possible we're going to get one every month or every other month until the year is up. Because I think we're going to get season 2 probably next year, like January, February, more than likely. So I mean, I think the pace of the updates is really good. Like they're just rolling out content quickly, you know.
absolutely. So we'll see what they'll do down the line. Maybe they'll just come up with it like, oh, we found the problem with the lobbies and all that stuff, so we fixed it in this next batch in order to prepare for the DLC, the first DLC characters release. Exactly. So it could be that sort of way, especially when they have content down the line as well. So it might come as a surprise. It might come like, here's a trailer. We'll have it released in a day or so.
Exactly. Anyway, well, that's pretty much it for the FGC POGCAST episode 2. Make sure you guys go on to YouTube. And also, just to let you guys know, we're now on Spotify, by the way. The FGC Podcast is on Spotify. So let me see if I can find it. Hold on a second. Search. Yep, here we go. I'm going to hit y'all with the link real quick. Make sure you guys follow the FGC Podcast on Spotify. I'm going to be uploading all of this up there as well. So yeah, we're on Spotify. We're probably going to be on Apple Music and everywhere podcasts are. But for now, we're mostly on Spotify. And this video will go up on YouTube as well. So damn, so you have to stop watching the stream and listen to the podcast? Exactly. Anyway, I'm going to put a Be Right Back screen. That's pretty much the end of the podcast. I'm going to play some music, put on the Be Right Back screen. Then we're going to play some fucking Guilty Gear. So, Pond, you sticking around to play some Guilty Gear with us?
I want to take a sprint first and then take a shower and then enjoy the summer weather. It's amazing sun. I was gonna take the sun. I was gonna get a suntan yesterday, but then rain clouds just showed up out of nowhere. I was just so bummed out of it. I was just like, I don't even want to play fighting games anymore.
How many degrees Celsius is it for you up there?
Right now it's 19.
Bruh, that's cold. Where I'm at, you know how many degrees it is right now? It's already 30. It's not even noon. It's already 30, bro. That's the south of France weather. I am dying over here.
Yeah.
This is why I don't be wanting to go outside. We did get a treadmill though in the house, so I will be using that.
That's good.
But yeah, I can't go outside because also another thing is when it gets above like 30 degrees, if I go outside, like I literally start getting like sunburnt and it's crazy because I didn't think that black folks got sunburnt until I moved to France and I started getting this like south of France heat wave, like 40, 50.
Oh, boy.
Like it gets crazy over here in the summertime, man.
Along with the asphalt and the water nearby, then that just adds on top of the sun rays.
Yeah, and the humidity. We're like right next to the Mediterranean. On top of that, we got mad lakes and rivers and stuff. Like the humidity is crazy. So yeah, I'm literally dying over here. So I will not be enjoying the summer weather. You can go enjoy that that refreshing 19 degrees. You go take a nice jog. I envy you now. I would love to take
that's
a
the
jog
thing.
in
That's the
19
thing
degree
people
weather.
talk about. Like, if you're gonna visit Sweden, do it during summertime because that's when it's really beautiful. If you come here during winter, like you're just gonna get depressed just like walking by the streets.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Anyway, all right. So I'm gonna put the Be Right Back screen. Pond, thank you for doing it. Let me know when you're back, and we'll run the set with your false. And I gotta practice that false matchup anyway.
Perfect. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.